Breaking news. Hold on. This just in, urgent news. Yes, I know this is an unusual time for me to do this, but we have to talk about it. Round 2 of the playoffs is in the books, and only one team emerged victorious from the bye week, and that is no shocker, Indiana. Kirksonetti goes into Pasadena, whips Alabama so hard. You would think that they were. You would think they weren't. They weren't. They brought their backup quarterback in the fourth quarter. It got to a point where people thought they benched Chase Simpson because he was playing bad. Turns out he got injured, and Indiana just not even murdered, but took Alabama, put them through a. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They took Alabama and they put them through a fucking wood chipper. Not just once, twice, 3 times. And it got to a point where it felt like the game was done. Like, just stop it. I have never, and I repeat, never seen a team I feel so bad for Alabama. I wanted them to lose, obviously, because of Oklahoma, but I did not expect it to be what it was. The reason I made this quick is don't just oh my god. I feel like I need to restart this show because it's just crazy. You know what? Just because I'm going to start this show over. Yeah, while you're editing, listen to this. This is an urgent message for the world of college football. I do not ever do a video. I would never do a video at this time. This is not only a message for everyone in the playoffs, but everyone in college football in general. What we witnessed in Pasadena is the equivalent of someone taking to the back alley and putting a bullet through their head. It was brutal. It was merciless. I've never felt bad for a team like Alabama in a long time, and that's saying something. Let's go over it. Of course, who would have guessed? For the first time, I cannot believe I'm saying this. We have all 4 teams were under Nick Saban, were coached by Nick Saban. It is the battle for the successor to Nick Saban, and I'm excited. Ole Miss, we'll talk about them beating Georgia. We're going to talk about the ass whipping by 2 teams that one of them got the bye and one took care of business. and then we're going to talk about the future because the committee has got to do something about this format. It cannot be this if this goes on for any longer. It's going to get to a point where I felt like going into a 12-team playoff, we were going to have it was going to be awesome. The little guys have a shot. Everyone gets happy because you get the 12 best teams, not just for so teams like what is it, Penn State they have a chance to go make a title run. And first year we're like, okay, this could work. Now we see next year, this year in 2025, we saw the repercussions and the reality of what could happen if everything goes wrong. To me, this felt like, okay, I don't believe in divine, and I don't believe in divine. I know I go to church and all that, but I do not believe in divine intervention. But to me, this was the universe showing us what could happen if it goes wrong. This is exactly what this is the whole we basically saw the first year was like, here it is, have fun, congratulations Ohio State, and now we're seeing the effects of what happens when you put that in. We're gonna talk all about it. We're gonna start off with the quarterfinals. This is urgent. I would not be making this if I did not have so much to say. What a round. I thought we were getting lucky with Ohio State and Miami. I thought Oklahoma and Alabama was a game. I thought we had all sorts of fun. Turns out oh boy, we were not expecting this. How much fitting for 2025? So first, let's go from top to bottom as we do. Let's talk about the team that could not escape their own 2 feet. Texas Tech loses to Oregon in a shutout. This is the first ever shutout in a playoff game, period. It's the first time a team in this format that has been shut out of a playoff. So Alabama avoided becoming the second fatality to that, thank God, but it was the first ever playoff team to get blown out in a playoff game. Texas Tech only could do one thing: play from behind. Going into this game, I had a very deep down, I had a very, very bad feeling for what this is going to be. Oregon's been here before. Dante Moore and his name. And well, you get the idea. Like, they've been here before. They've been in this position. Everything's in front of them. They weren't going to let it slip away this time. And unfortunately for Texas Tech, your defense got you through the Big 12, but you would never have an offense that would even. If you put Oklahoma and Texas Tech against each other in the playoffs, 9 out of 10 times Oklahoma would win just by their offense and defense alone. Texas Tech defense would probably keep them in the game, but John Mateer would carve up that defense faster than Indiana could give an ass whipping to Alabama. So, congratulations, Texas Tech. You beat BYU twice. The Big 12 got some recognition, but this is the reason why the Big 12 is the Big 12. They play so much competition that they don't get big teams. They don't get teams like Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. Instead, they get teams like Purdue, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern. Just teams that bottom of the barrel. So I was hoping we would get a good game, but deep down, I knew this game was in Oregon's favor. There's a reason Vegas put it -2.5. You don't bet against Vegas in that case. They knew what they were doing. So, better luck next year, and at least at least you got past BYU twice. So, hey, at least you broke the narrative. You could beat a team twice if you're good enough. Sorry, buddy, but that NIL money ain't going to do anything if you don't have a good offense. Next, oh dear Lord mighty, have the mighty have fallen. Yeah. How the mighty have fallen. Indiana hosts Alabama, Pasadena. An underdog and a Nick Saban. This is basically two of Nick Saban's coach teams going toe to toe. And what should have been the equivalent of Oklahoma and Alabama turned out to just be Georgia and the SEC championship all over again. Alabama only got 3 points. Indiana got 38. The game was pretty much over by the third quarter. Now, Ohio State did this to Oregon last year, but Indiana did it faster. Let's talk about it. Ty Simpson, holy shoot. I don't think we're ever going to see Ty Simpson get hit like that ever in the SEC. Dude got laid out so hard, they benched him. I thought they benched him because that's what you do. If your quarterback ain't doing anything good, then you bench him, get another guy in and see what he does. But no, he got hurt bad. News came out he got a broken rib cage. Yeah, that shows you what Indiana can do to any team. And honestly, I am so glad Oklahoma got. I'm actually proud that Oklahoma lost to Alabama, because if that's what they did to Alabama and Alabama did what they did to Oklahoma, Oklahoma wouldn't survive the first quarter, and John Mateer would probably have a broken hand. I am scared. I was genuinely glad Oklahoma did not play in Pasadena, because whatever Indiana had against Alabama would have been amplified by Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is the poster child of the Big 10, the Big 12, and you bet your ass that Indiana would have loved to get some of that Oklahoma ass. So Indiana, game was over by third quarter. They brought two Manziel brothers. One of them got some playing time. Kirk Cinetti had. Here, let me show you. We're gonna go. This game is just. I think this game in Ole Miss is gonna be the highlight of the playoffs. One of them was the highlight for all the wrong reasons. The other one was a classic. In fact, for the first time ever, I'm not even gonna read this. There's a reason this is blank. Alabama had more. Drake right now, if you're listening to this, had more yardage than Alabama. Yes, but Oklahoma and Texas jumped from the Big 12 to the SEC last year, and so that because they wanted the better NIL money and all that. Money walks, bullshit. Money talks, bullshit walks. That's basically what it boils down to, and they left behind a rivalry with Oklahoma State. They basically wanted more money, and it turns out that may have been the best option. But as of right now, unless Texas Tech gets everything they needed back, we might see BYU rise to the number one spot in the Big 12. But near here or there, it's a bygone era. It's a bygone era. Again, I'm also going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about what we need to do for these conferences, because we can't be having these conference games do this to teams. Like it was heartbreaking to watch a Big 12 team have to play a team that already was pissed off. It is. Then again, Big 12, Oklahoma and Texas Tech gave us some of the best games we've ever seen from Oklahoma. I'm going back to the 2018. I think it was 2018 when they were still in the. Yeah, 2018, 2016, 2018, 2017. Oklahoma and Texas Tech had 3 games that went into overtime. And some of them were like the highest scoring games that we've seen them. But let me pull up this image because it is fucking hilarious. So we'll talk about the Big 12 and all that in this urgent thing, but I want to show you. This is what Nick Saban raised in Alabama. This is what he raised. Mind you, this is the guy that coached under Nick Saban for Alabama. This guy is what he raised. Kirk Cincinnati, there it is. This is just a few images from his games. This is a man who says, if you get in his way, you are not coming back from anything. Look at this man. This is against Alabama. Look at this man's stance. He is pissed. He's just absolutely not. He doesn't care. There is no soul in that eye. For better reference here, normally I don't like to do this with Fox News, but you got to take what you can because this is him during the Oregon game. This is him in the Oregon game. Look at that scowl. This is the man who single-handedly buried Alabama in the Rose Bowl. And finally, if your point isn't proven already, this is him when he's calling the plays. And only after he's satisfied does he actually smile. This is the guy that Nick Saban raised. An absolute monster. And I would be scared to play Indiana in the college football playoff. So that is near here or there. We're going to get back to it. Let's talk about it. I know there's a lot we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all the stuff in emergent, but this is urgent. Like I said, urgent. I don't think we're ever going to see a beatdown like we saw with Indiana and Alabama. So that is what it is. They got embarrassed on the big stage. And I know you want Kalen DeBozo fired, but if you fire him, then you're never winning against Oklahoma ever again. Kalen DeBoer is the only reason you beat Oklahoma again. It's the only reason. I dare you to try to make an argument to say without him you beat Oklahoma out of those 3 times. Because I guarantee you it gets worse without Kalen DeBoer. So the dust settles, move on. Ty Simpson's coming back. He'll be healthy next year. Regroup, get some alignment, and just get an identity, and you'll be good to go. Just don't pick in Florida State as your first round game either. We saw how that went. But let's go to the next one, which is one of my arguably the greatest. This is backyard football at its peak. Ole Miss, Georgia, the rematch. Oh my Jesus, we got. I'm sorry for using that. But holy crap! You want to talk about a game worth the playoffs? Look at no further than these 2 teams. Kirby Smart last year got to this point, had to face Notre Dame, and he could not get it done. This year, with everything, he has the bye week. It's the SEC in front of him. He owns the SEC this year. And what does Ole Miss do? They walk in with Trinidad Chambliss and Kaylon Lacey, and for 4 quarters goes head to head with Georgia and don't budge. That defense is something special. Trinidad Chambliss looked like, dare I say it, Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes as one. 39, 34. That'll be a game we'll talk about forever. That is the best Sugar Bowl I think we've had ever since the 14 playoff was invented. Ole Miss showed the world, even without Lane Kiffin, we're still a big team. We're still a threat, and don't mess with us. Honestly, Trinidad Challenge, from that performance right there, he should have been invited to New York. Dare I say it, over Diego Pavia by a long shot. Dude, Trinidad Challenge, Mahomes. I think Trinidad Challenge is what Mahomes is in the NFL. In respect to Pete Golding for Trinidad Chandler's performance. Without him, I don't think Trinidad Chandler would have had tonight. But once again, we find ourselves with Georgia and Kirby Smart could not do it in the playoffs. They got to pick up the pieces. I know Kirby Smart, it did not look good, did not look pretty, but you got to tip your cap. Here, I'm gonna get a football. I'm gonna go get this, and I'll show you. I'm gonna show you what happened because there's some stuff that took place. I need to show you. I'll be right back. Get a football. I got a football. Should have a football somewhere. Should have a football. We can go find the football. You know what? This will do. This will do. So pretend this is a football. Trinidad Chandler, he's running all the way back, and then he cuts all the way back and just pitches it. I don't have an open field to do it with, but Mahomes would be proud. Mahomes would be proud. Anyway, let's do it. So Ole Miss gets it done against Georgia, and they'll be playing Miami in the Fiesta Bowl, and I can't wait to see that matchup. But let's just bite the bullet. First, we're gonna talk about this because it needs to be stated. What are we gonna do with the bye weeks? Let's go over it. Where's the Alex poll? Where's my polls that I made? Here we go. So let's go over this because this is also the reason I made this video. I'm doing this live. This is the reason I'm doing this live. The committee has one of two things: nuke it or fix it. So Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech all got the byes. Indiana's the only team that came out of that with a win. Last year, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon, God forbid, I swear, I think that was it, right? Because it was Arizona State, Texas, Clemson, and was it Clemson and Texas? I feel like a fool for not remembering it. Uh, yeah, here it is. So last year we had Boise State, Georgia, Oregon, Arizona State all got the byes last year. Ohio State killed Oregon. Texas beats Arizona State. Penn State beats Boise, and Notre Dame beats Georgia. So, um, yeah. So 0 for 4 last year, and then you had then Texas Tech fell 0 for 5. Georgia fell 0 for 6. Ohio State fell 0 for 7. Finally, and then Indiana got the first win out the bye against Alabama. Not even a shocker. 1-7. Bye week teams are 1-7 in the playoffs. The committee has to do something because you've got teams like Notre Dame, BYU, Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Tulane, Oklahoma, A&M, and these teams have ammo to say change it, because I can tell you right now, I don't think the committee is going to get rid of conference championships. I'd be shocked if they do. There's the NIL money, the TV money, all the sponsors. It'd be too much. But at this point, you either got to do it. You got to do what's right, or you just got to hope that maybe next year things work them out. And I'm disappointed. These were supposed to be the 12 best teams in college football. They each had 25 days. That is too much. Drake can actually atone for this, can speak for me on this. And if Mr. Hall was in chat, he would as well. In the NFL, you have 16 weeks. Sorry, you have 14 weeks. So then you have wild card, and then you have the playoffs, and then you have the Super Bowl. So you get 14 regular season games. You get 1 week of wild card and conference play and division play. Sorry, and then from there it's off to the playoffs into the Super Bowl in February. So basically, teams have after the regular season. There's only 13 teams have 13 days. Sorry, after conference play, each team gets 13 days before the playoffs. And to me, that is the magic number. I would rather that is 1 week from that. So basically, they would be playing the week after, and that's what the college football should do. I'm not saying they will do it, but if they want to fix what we saw this year, that's what's going to have to happen. And just because you expand it to 16, 14, 24, 36, if you expand it to 100, you're still going to have the same issues as before. You have to do something with the format. You can't just say, oh, well, our heads are tied. Notre Dame, let's put you in the top 12 and get the bye week. Oh, guess what? No more conference championships. Everyone gets to play in the playoff. Woo! All the money in the world. No, that's not how that works. That teams are going to be mad. Let teams be left out. I don't care. Let Oklahoma and Alabama be executed off the playoffs. I don't care. If you want to make it to the playoffs, you have to show that you are the best of the best. And for the second year in a row, you had two group of 5 teams get blown out. You had 2 teams get demolished against Indiana. against, yeah, 3 teams demolished each other. One of them got beat down so hard it took them out of the program conversation entirely. And then the other one got revenge on a team that they lost in the regular season. You had another team from the Big 12 somehow get past everyone in their conference undefeated. Yet, I mean, well, we'll say air quotes on undefeated. Arizona State's air marks around that one. But they somehow get it there, and then they get blown out. They get shut out by Oregon. Then Ohio State, the defending national champs, the team that destroyed everyone last year, they lose to a Miami team from the ACC. That's right, Pink Conference. SMU is better than Ohio State. Oklahoma is better than Ohio State. Alabama is better than a literal team that did not make their conference title because some bullshit computer system does all the tiebreakers, gets into the playoffs, and they blow out against the number one team in all college football. I don't even never mind the second best in the college football. I know I'm getting heated, but this is what happens when you have this format and what you have now. This is what happens because look, with the 14 playoffs, it was the 4 best teams. You had some teams that got to play into a play-in game. So, like Florida State played Georgia, they got to play in. If they won that game, they could make it. They could take a spot into the one of this New Year's Six bowls, and then you had the 14 playoff, and after that, you get the championship. But when you go to a 12-team playoff, and I know I just ruined a lot of people with headphones on, but look, let's come back now. When you go to a 12-team playoff, the first year we saw what happens when everything sorts itself out. When you have everything that works, it works out the way it needs to be. There's no controversy. Everyone agrees. Some controversy, Boise State and all that, but for most of the part, it was regarded as a success. Then 2025 comes around, and it's like we saw what happens when everything doesn't go, when everything goes to absolute hell. And like I said, a bygone era. And we'll get to the Big 12 in a second, but all I'm going to say is if going forward, we got to do something about these bye weeks. We got to make the schedule quicker. I think, and I don't care if you have to go to an NFL format, if you have to go to make divisions, something's got to happen because we cannot have this happen next year because it will happen next year. And you got to let teams, I know you still got to give the little guys a chance, but if you have to get rid of the G5 altogether, do it. Look, as a fan, I love the G5. I love the fact that Tulane has a spot to go play can have a Cinderella run. That's only in college basketball. That's only in March Madness. It doesn't really translate well to football, but I'm still for it. I get it. You want the little guy, you want the Rocky Balboas to have a shot. But if we're going off of the teams in the playoffs, I tell you what. Here, I'll give you this question. Put Indiana against Tulane. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out what would happen in that game. So, look, we either fix the format, we nuke it, or we just say fuck all and get rid of conference play. We get rid of bye weeks and we just go 2 home games. You get 2 first round games. You get the first round in this quarterfinals. Each will be played on campus. So basically, Oklahoma plays in Norman, and then 1 second. So, like I said, so basically Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, and Georgia, they would all be playing at home against against Alabama and Oklahoma, and so on. So that's probably what's going to happen after next year, because the window to change it is already done, because they have to do a year in advance for scheduling. So we'll get one more 12 team this year, but next year. But the year afterwards is probably going to change, and that's probably what we're going to do. We're probably going to go to 16 teams. We're going to have the bye week. Now the teams will have the bye week. The teams with the bye weeks will get a home game, just like the first round does, and you'll still keep conference championships meaningful. And we're just going to have to say the New Year's Six Bowl is on a rotation like in the 14 playoffs. Because in the 14 playoffs, you would get the Sugar Bowl and Rose Bowl one year. Then you would get the Fiesta Bowl and the Orange Bowl the next year. And then you get the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl that year. So you would they would be on rotation. So they still had meaning, and you just don't know which bowl game you're going to be playing in, which is what made it so fun with the bowl games, because you could be playing in Pasadena, or you could be playing in Miami. You could be playing in the Sugar Bowl, or you could be playing in the Orange Bowl. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens, but what we saw with the playoffs is just a beautiful representation of what this 2025 season has been: chaos. And that is where I'll leave it on that. Let's go on. Let's talk about it. Hey, Texas Tech, you can come on, Texas Tech. Come into the room. You're fine. Come into the room. You're not in trouble. So let's talk about it. The Big 12 and the conference. The conference in general. So, yeah, I don't see any issues. You had two group of fives. You had two Big Ten. Sorry, you had three Big Tens. You had you had four Big Ten, you had four SECs, one Big 12, one ACC, one Group of Five, and one Sun Belt. One Group of Five. I mean, two Group of Fives, yeah. So where's the issue? I'll tell you what's the issue: having the Big 12 being able to play the Big 10. Need I remind you, Oklahoma and Texas, they used to run the Big 12. You had the teams that ran the Big 12: Oklahoma State, Texas, Oklahoma, Utah, BYU, and then sometimes Texas Tech. Those were the teams that made up most of the conference of the Big 12. But Oklahoma and Texas would always be the front runners in the Big 12 conference. And yeah, which when realignment happened and the Oklahoma and Texas got invited to go to the SEC, they abandoned ship, and Oklahoma State could have went. Now, I am going to be making a video about playing. I'm going to be doing a live stream, I think, in the off season with NCAA 12. I mean, not 12. NCAA 26, and I did my own realignment with conferences, and I put Oklahoma State into the SEC, so that way Bedlam could continue. But in real life, Mike Gundy, before he got fired, said that Oklahoma basically betrayed them. They left them for dead, and because Oklahoma left, Oklahoma State got exposed so hard in the Big 12, and now they're the bottom of the barrel, and it's sad. Oklahoma State's a program that only was there and relevant in the Big 12 because Oklahoma was in the Big 12, and so other than that, it's that era was probably some of the best played college football games in the world. Like I said, Oklahoma and Texas Tech would always be in the front runner. Norman, three like overtime games. Some of them were in the high score, some low, and it's sad to see the Big 12 be relegated to what is a. Also, why am I am not in focus. Should be in focus here. Let me white balance this for a second. Also, sorry if I yelled. I just get so mad that we have to deal with this. Also, I think I do have to wear this hat in order for this to pick up my movement. Okay, 1 second. We're having technical difficulties here. We are having technical difficulties here, so. Alright, we are back. We are good. We're all fixed here. Like I said, it's a bygone era, but conference realignment, it's 2 years ago now. So Texas Tech was, again, the reason I'm talking about Texas Tech specifically is when you have teams like Texas Tech play higher level competition besides just BYU over and over again, no matter how much money they put into that roster, even if they made it past Oregon, one of those teams would just embarrass them no matter what. If it wasn't Oregon, it was going to be Indiana. So it's sad that one of the Power Four conferences is what it is now, but it's just the modern day of football is, yeah, you missed a lot. So I'm gonna quickly recap. So I'm gonna quickly recap. Uh, I'm glad you didn't have to hear me yell. I'm not gonna yell again. But to sum up what I said was if the committee has two options, three at best, you either nuke the format or you just reset. I mean, you fix it or you nuke it. The third option is you try to reset. You can't have this happen. You can't have bye week teams. And if you know the NFL and Drake, like I said this in the rant. Drake and Mr. Hallwood can probably already can already confirm with you this, but the reason the NFL works the way it does is because it's split into 14 weeks, and then you have 13 days before playoffs. So those teams that are already in the playoffs, they're not playing for their divisions. They get sort of a bye week off. They get 13 days, and then the playoff begins. And college football, it could be how college football should be what college football is, but we don't have divisions. We have conferences, and no one else is going to be happy about it. Yeah, but like I said, not this year, not next year, because not in 2027, because not this year in 2026, because they already scheduled the games for this year, so they have to do it a year in advance for scheduling and all that. But I'm pretty sure next year in 2027, we're going to go to a 16 format, and we'll see what happens with the bowl game. We'll see what happens, but we're probably going to a 16 at most, if not 14. Again, like I said, and then Texas Tech, they're not they shouldn't feel like they were, but they They should feel angry, but they shouldn't be disappointed. For the Big 12 to get a team like Texas Tech into the playoffs goes back to what Arizona State did a year ago. It's incredible because it shows you that with the right amount of money, the right amount of the right team, the right coach, and all that, the Big 12 can compete just as much as the Big 10 does in this SEC. But like I said, even if they beat Oregon, it was either going to be Indiana. It would have been Indiana that ruined their chances regardless. If it wasn't Oregon, it was going to be Indiana, period. And like I said, with Oklahoma State, the only reason they are where they are now is because Oklahoma and Texas bailed out on them, and Oklahoma lifted up Oklahoma State and basically, huh? What? Oh, are you referring to the Big 12? Oh, it's a song, yeah. But like you said, it's a bygone era. We had some Oklahoma in the Big 12 was always going to be matching up with Texas or Texas Tech, and again, we got some of the best games. But like I said, Oklahoma is the only reason Oklahoma State exists in the begin with. It was because Bedlam was so popular that Oklahoma State was even meaningful in the Big 12. And when SEC gave up a call and said, hey, you two look like some of the best blue buds in the nation. Come over here and join us other blue buds. Come on. You don't be shy. We're not going to give you the schedules that would make someone else cry. Totally. They jump ship. SEC, go to the SEC. Oklahoma State doesn't go. Mike Gundy states his claim. Bedlam's gone, and Oklahoma State's now the worst team ever in college football. I think they're worse. They're probably worse than than any Group of 5 team combined. That's saying something about Oklahoma. That's saying something about the Big 12. But like I said, no matter how much money Texas Tech had, no matter how great they had of a chance to go to the playoffs, they just got the wrong side. They got the seed. They got the worst seed possible, and that's where it is. So that's to wrap that with what I'm talking about. And now back to the whole conference thing. Look, just in my opinion, Texas Tech probably got the worst end of the stick here. But I need to stop talking about it. We need to go. Let's go over and talk about the what we'll see from these like this format as a whole. So look, there's still time to fix it. And excuse my language here, but I feel like it's necessary. You're telling me Alabama embarrasses fucking Oklahoma, goes into the Rose Bowl, and Indiana puts an ass whipping so hard it deletes it makes that it takes the program and buries it under the face of the Rose Bowl. And then you tell me these other teams, these other good teams get blown out by teams lesser. Don't even get me started on Miami. The U is back, folks. But yeah. But let's go ahead and let's move on. Let's calm down. Let's move on to some of the positives. Clap it up. Clap it up to Ole Miss. Let's clap it up to everyone who made it to the semifinals. I'm so happy. And this is genuine proudness because all these teams were doubted. They were put to the curve and said, "You're never gonna win. You're never gonna be good. You suck. You suck so bad. Quack. Just go back to the pond where you belong." And especially Miami and Ole Miss, go up, just a big clap for you. You guys showed why you deserve Alabama and Texas Tech and Oregon and Alabama. Well, Alabama especially. Fuck you. Fuck you for giving us what we saw in the Rose Bowl. But also, thank you. Thank you for taking Oklahoma's place because I don't think Oklahoma would have fared any better against Indiana. And yeah, but let's again clap it up. Kirk Snetti, Cristobal, Pete Golden, Dan Lanning, bravo, you. You guys did the hardest job ever. Two of you beat the top teams in the nation, and one of you just beat up on the dead corpse of what the Big 12 was and used to be. But let's go ahead and talk something positive. You want to see a man raise? You want to see what happens when you raise a monster, folks? Let me show you. I think I already showed this, but I can't get enough of this man who is single-handedly might mean the end of the SEC entirely. Kirk Snetti. So this man right here is the reason the SEC is on fucking watch on Spotlight. Let me find the one that I saved it in my I think I posted. I'm gonna post it on Instagram. I'm gonna post it on Instagram as well. But this right here. Let me remind you, all these teams in the playoffs. Also, let's give it up for Nick Saban. Nick Saban, he made these guys into coaches, and Lane Kiffin, yeah, that's an exception. But Dan Lanning, Kirk Snetti, Mario Cristobal, Nick Saban raised some damn good head coaches, and it's showing. But this right here is the face of a man who said, I don't want to make Alabama look bad, but I want to make sure that I make my case. And I've got one meme that we're going to do. We're going to do this meme, and I feel like it's going to bring some good vibes back in. Look at this man. Look at this man. See if I can zoom in. This is the guy. This man has no emotion. This man has no emotion. And I fucking love it. But here's what if you watch Squid Tart, I should have clipped it. I think I clipped it for Squid Tart, but Squid Tart played this and it fits. This is what I'm sure everyone was thinking when we saw the Rose Bowl.
He's already dead.
Yep. Good job, Cincinnati. You did everyone a favor. But let's just go ahead. Let's again, like I said, give it up. This man single-handedly did what no one else could do. But I wanted to go over Georgia a little bit because, man, I don't know how to wrap my head around. But first off, let's clap it up for Ole Miss. Ole Miss, beautiful day at the office. You did what you could. You did what you needed to do. Took care of business. You didn't buckle. Kirby Smart. He was proud. I know you can't show it on TV because you don't want to. It's like you're meant to be hated rivals. Like you're not meant to show emotion. You gotta. But if you watch the end of, go watch the field goal at the end of that game, and you can see Kirby Smart just have a small smile. He has a small grin on his face. That is someone who just, you tip your cap. They were the better team. And even though he probably feels like this it's the second time he's been here and he hasn't done it, Kirby Smart showed a man, a real man, a man who knows what competition is like. Because to make Kirby Smart smile like that, you have to outplay him. And Pete Golden, he remember when going back throughout the entire year when I talked about Georgia, to quote from Josh Pate, you got to cut the head off the snake. They Ole Miss cut the head off the snake. Anyways, more positive news. We actually Oklahoma got hit with some more heartbreaking news. This is I feel like this is not what you want to hear as an Oklahoma fan, and Michael Hawkins Jr. and his brother, they declared for the transfer portal. And he probably was going to get the starting job after Mateer left this year. And the playing time just did not look in his favor. Michael Hawkins Jr. is going to be hitting the transfer portal out of Oklahoma. And sad. He had 107 yards, 300 carries. He had, I believe, he had 2 interceptions, 5 touchdowns last year when he was with Jackson Arnold. Man, good luck to you, man. Hope you find a school. Hopefully, you find a school that gives you the respect you need. Other news, this just in. Oh wait, we got some breaking news. I was just about to end this urgent thing, but this little live stream. Well, I still have one more thing to talk about, and it's the reason. Again, like I said, the reason I made this video. But we also have some breaking news coming out of college football. So this was posted 2 minutes ago. So this is just This is just in breaking. This is breaking news. This just in. This was a story. This was posted 2 minutes ago. It was on January 2nd, and then it was updated 4 hours ago. But it was just posted. Alabama running back Richard Young plans to enter the portal, and Alabama has just lost one of its best star running backs, besides Ryan Williams and think Caden Proctor. I have to double check, but just in, it says it right here. I'm gonna pull it up on screen. This is fascinating. The transfer portal is already hitting hard. Young star, 4-star quarterback number. So Alabama running back Richard Young plans to enter the transfer portal. Blah blah blah. He was the number 7th ranked running back, over 108 overall player in the 2023 class, and he had 5 touchdowns in his career at Alabama. He was a young 4-star recruit running back, number 4 ranked running back, number 55 ranked player nationally in the class of 2023, and he was playing for Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, and Daniel Hill, and that's crazy. That is one. Also, by the way, this sums up perfectly. This tweet right here this this little sentence here wraps up what we saw with Alabama this year. Darlings 2 weeks ago, but yeah, it is running back. So that's crazy. So that just happened. Like that was just now, and that is just awful for if you're Kalen DeBoer. That's gonna be miserable because he was the reason you guys got he was your leading rusher with Daniel Hill the entire run that you guys had. Uh, anyways, let's go on to the segment I wanted to talk about the most, and we're gonna take it one step at a time because I feel like we deserve the whole picture. Let's go back to 2023, the 14 playoff. Everything normal. Alabama, a 14 playoff, 2023 playoff bracket. It was, it was, all right, here it is. So, yeah, Florida State, so here's how, we're going to spin it. So, 2023, nothing's changed. Florida State, Georgia, they get to play in the Orange Bowl. They don't get to play for a playoff, but they play in Orange Bowl, so they still made it to the postseason. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama, they're playing for the national championship. And Michigan beats Alabama under Nick Saban. I'm sorry, under Kalen DeBoer. Texas beats Washington beats Texas, and Washington and Michigan play for a national championship. Ultimately, Michigan wins the national championship 2023, and we thought going forward, Florida State got snubbed. It was the year that Florida State got snubbed because of their quarterback. So people were saying go to a 12-team playoff, and mind you, this was the Oklahoma, Texas, what is it? Delaware, all these other teams not even exist yet. Oklahoma and Texas still in the Big 12 with Oklahoma State. And fast forward to 2024, and we get to the realignment, conference realignment happens, shocks the world. Oklahoma and Texas abandon the Big 12 and they go to the SEC. So they play in their first round of the SEC. Oklahoma does pretty well. Texas does good enough to get them to a national championship, get into the semifinals against Ohio State. So good year for the SEC. And then everything happens. Ohio State wins the Natty. And that was the moment. Like that right there is the last time we would see a normal day in football. Fast forward to the start of 2025. Preseason ranks come out, which are just fucking stupid. Don't preseason rank teams because you don't know how they're going to play. Rank them at the very end. Ohio State, Texas, first ever. Ohio State and Texas, a rematch in the first round, first week, first game of the college football 2025 season. Oklahoma and Texas. Texas does bad. Oklahoma does well this time. And we get to this point, and after everything that has happened, we get, and I'm trying to say this without yelling, we get 2 Group of 5 teams, 4 Big 10, 1 Big 12, 1 ACC, 4 SEC, and 3 SEC teams. And if I told you before playoff happened that Miami, Ole Miss, Oregon, and Indiana would be playing for a national championship, you would say I'm fucking delusional. And again, excuse my language. But that's what you would have said to me. You're thinking, oh, what happened to Ohio State? What happened to Alabama? Like, what happened to Oklahoma, Texas? What if I told you Alabama gets the edge over Oklahoma? They get blown out in the Rose Bowl by Indiana. Ole Miss beats Tulane, then beats Georgia without Kirk Cinetti and beats Kirby Smart again. Miami faced. Who did they face? They had to face someone, right? Who did they? Did they? Oh, A&M. Sorry, yeah. So Texas A&M, they win an ugly game against A&M. They beat the defending national champs Ohio State. And I told you that right now we would be seeing Indiana as the best team in the nation. Notice how we went normal, crazy, to straight up what the fuck in the span of 3 years. That's what happened. And here we are now. But to wrap this back up, it's like I said, we need to do something about these conferences because, for one, we can't have 2 Group of 5 teams. Second, you can't have these bye week teams get 25 days off. They look rusty, and then and then Indiana comes out in bloodshed. You can't have these 9-3 teams make it into the playoffs and have them face off against a team again. I'm all for rematches. Trust me, I would be so happy to have it be Oklahoma, Alabama, Pasadena, the Rose Bowl to go play for a national championship. Believe me, I would take a rematch like that 100%. Same thing with Ole Miss and Georgia. But at the end of the day, now mind you, this goes all the way back to this issue started during the first college football rankings. I mean, during week 5, when Notre Dame when Notre Dame jumped ahead of Miami. That was the moment that this whole thing fell apart. Because of that ranking, that butterfly effect. I kid you not, that butterfly effect. Notre Dame being ranked above Miami is the reason we are where we are. That is the reason why we are here. Because of that ranking coming out, that was the moment the committee made their biggest mistake. Had they done right, they put Miami over Notre Dame because of the head-to-head. We are still not in focus. Okay, now we are. Because of that, putting Notre Dame over Miami, even though Miami won the head-to-head, that basically opened the door for everything in the ACC to take place. for everything in the Big 12 to happen, for everything in the Group of 5 to happen. And so, let me say this lightly. I'm also going to be cussing a bit more, but hey, committee, are you fucking happy? Are you fucking satisfied? This is what you wanted, so here's what you get. Read it and weep your actions. Your actions have consequences. I hope you're fucking happy because this was a disgrace to the playoffs. What we saw was a disgrace to every team. I think Vanderbilt and BYU could have put up a better fight than Alabama, and I'm sorry for all of you headphone users, than Alabama did against Indiana. I would put my fucking money for Vanderbilt to beat Indiana because Vanderbilt is a team that is like Indiana. They know who they are. They know they're the doormat of the SEC. They know what they have. They have a chip on their shoulder. They have Diego Pavia and Carkley. They would probably put up a better fight than Alabama did against Indiana. So, congratulations. I hope you're fucking happy, committee. Anyways, calm back down. I had to get that out. It's sad to see college football in a state where bowl games don't really matter anymore. The playoffs are now being said they're scripted. We have bye week teams being blown out by teams, exclusion of Indiana. You have games being played on neutral sites rather than home campuses, which would in turn make bowl games meaningless. Here's what the biggest thing that came out today. Let me go to the Orange Bowl 2025 playoff stadium controversy. See if I can find a picture everyone's using. Trying to see if I can find a picture everyone using that I saw on. Trying to see if I can find the picture that's been going around on social media. It's sad because this is what we've gone to. This is what we have what it has become. I think it's here. This. Where's the one it's been going around on social media all day? I mean, all morning long. I think I found it. I found it. I think I found it. Here it is. This is the one. So this is Manny Navarro. This has been going around on social media. This is sad. This is the reason why college football, like, this is what happened when Notre Dame got ranked ahead of Miami. This is on Twitter. So this was posted on Twitter. Look at all these seats. There is no seat. Look, down here, what you can see, this side is filled. Yeah, but look at these seats. Look at this. This up here, and it's not just one row. This is the student section. So this is where the student section is. So obviously you have all the students showing up. Look at the stadium. Look at this. Look at how many empty seats there are. This is underwhelming. Let me remind you that if this was played at night, you bet your ass all these people this would be filled completely. This whole stadium would be packed at night. But because it was played in the mornings on New Year's Day at 11 a.m., because of those time zone differences from Eugene and Arlington, this is the result. It is so sad. Now, compare that to, I'm going to actually save this photo. Now, go back to Norman, Oklahoma. Playoff stadium crowd view. And you tell me which looks more, please, which you think is more. Tell me what out of these two, which one is the more exciting game to go that you would go just by looking at it. Let's pull it up. Playoff games took place in Norman. Mm. Alrighty. I'm trying to see if they'll show it. It's got to be here somewhere. Oklahoma. And don't worry, we're going to end it after this. Here it is. Here it is. So you tell me. So now, this is going to be a bit pixelated, but look at this. Sorry for the low quality. Look at this. You tell me, would you want to be in this environment or in this environment? Because I know which one I would be in. Anyways, you get the idea. This is so sad that every playoff game should be packed full. Instead, they're not. I saved that. Oh, look, here, there's another one here. Embarrassing crown, yeah. So, anyways, urgent message, we're done. That's what I wanted to talk about. Had to get it out of the way because honestly, I just can't stand what college football has become. It is truly remarkable, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to be watching the rest of the bowl games this week. Get ready for the NFL. I'm excited. Conference. We'll see that tomorrow. Tomorrow is conference play for the NFL. Also, I will be probably filming on Monday. Well, I mean, we're probably still going to have tech on Monday, but I don't know if we'll have school because it's professional day apparently. But anyways, like I said, I forgot to say this in the middle of the show. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Leave a like. check out my community tab. Bunch of stuff I posted there. You can follow me on Instagram, which I will figure out how to get that link posted. Go follow me on TikTok. I'm taking a break from TikTok and get back onto it this week. Got a lot of plans for the off season. I don't know. Might take a break, but trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the NFL season. It's just crazy what happens. One more time though, because I have to give my due diligence. We're gonna go through them one by one and stand up ovation. Let's see if I do it. Take my hat off and clap it up. Congratulations on Ole Miss, Miami, Oregon, Indiana. They're moving on. We'll see one rematch and one new. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna see all four of these are Nick Saban led coach. Nick Saban coached head coaches that were under head coach Nick Saban, and it's gonna be incredible. I decided to root for Ole Miss because not only are they the only remaining SEC left, but I feel like Ole Miss, after what they've been through this year, they deserve a national championship. Clap it up though. Like I said, we say it on the channel. We're gonna say it every year till the end of the earth. Winners win. Winners find a way to win, and losers find a way to lose. Okay, congratulations, Ole Miss. Congratulations, Miami. Round of applause. Bravo. What a hell of a performance from you guys. Ohio State, Texas Tech, Alabama, Georgia. Look, better luck next year. You'll probably be back. Maybe with Texas. Who knows? We might get Oklahoma and Texas Red River playoff game. God forbid that happens. I'm going to go watch the rest of the bowl games. That is it for me. This urgent message is complete. I wanted to bring it up because we're almost there. We're going to keep going. I'm going to probably do one more. I'm going to live stream one more game, and then I'll be streaming the national championship game on January 12th. But I'm going to, for my own sanity, I'm going to decide, do I want to do Oregon, Indiana, or am I going to live stream Ole Miss and Miami? I don't know which one. I've not decided yet. I'm going to finish watching the rest of these bowl games. Right now, Texas State is beating up against literal food. And anyways, I will see you guys. Not this week. I'll be seeing you guys for the final round for the semifinals. I'm gonna be taking a long break for a while. I'm gonna get some rest up. I feel a lot better. I still feel a bit sick, but we'll see what happens. I can't wait. Sure, chaos has not been done yet. Chaos still is probably gonna happen. So again, make sure you are subscribed. We do this college football all day long. I'm Alex, and I'm your host of the Alex Football Show. We'll be renaming this channel. Be here on, I don't know when I'll do it. I might make it a special live stream. On January 20th. That's right. Mark your calendars for January 20th. I'm going to be renaming this channel from the Alex Football Show to, now, I thought long and hard about it. I'm naming it to get ready. You ready? The Alex Show. Surprise! Curveball. I'm just going to be taking football out of it. It does not fit well. But it's just, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But for right now, with the rough draft of what I have, it's just going to be called The Alex Show. Although that is my second channel, I'm probably going to rename that to The Alex McKinney Show, so it's different. But, I mean, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have to give it more thought because I just realized the Alex Bowl. What do you think? What do you think? Should we name it the? Should we name it to the AM show? Because technically, most of the stuff is an AM thing. Nah, we'll see. I'm still thinking about it, but for right now, what I have for you on January 20th, the Alex Show. My second channel, which you should go subscribe to, will be called The Alex McKinney Show. I'll post random stuff there, all sorts of fun stuff there. Here, the Alex Show, this show, whatever it ends up being, will be mainly football. And who knows? I might make an NFL channel because I want to split this. When I started this channel out, I was originally going to cover all three sports. That is NFL, high school, and college. But that's too much for me. Thank you, Drake. I can see in the comments. But look, it's at the end of the day, it's hard to cover all three sports because then I'm having to keep track of it. It was too much for me, so I'm sticking to college football. High school I'm going to move all my high school stuff and even post-high school stuff to my second channel. It'll be where the high school is done because it's more fitting there. It's not. And then this channel right here will be college football only, and then small bits and pieces of the others combined. Mark your calendars for Jan 21st. Got some special guests I'm going to get in contact with. Have them ready. I have it on my list on the calendar. I have it marked on my calendar. Where is my thing at? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to have I'm going to have 4 guests on the show when we get to the postseason. So on the list, I'm going to get in contact with, here he comes, Squid Tart, Josh Pate, Crane and Company, and On 3. Mark your calendars, Jan 21st. Unless they don't respond, I'm going to be having a special collab with those with those guys. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about it, and I'm excited. It's been something I've always wanted to do. So mark your calendars, Jan 20th and the 21st, a special show featuring those 4 guys. Some of the inspiration. But yeah, other than that, there is really nothing else to talk about. I've covered everything. I've stated my case. Big stuff for this channel. But yeah. So with that out of the way, I don't have my OU shirt on, but I do still have this hat. So I love you all, college football bound, and we'll see you 1 week from now when we get to the semifinals. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. As always, love you all, college football. Peace and love. Oh, I'm so happy we got that beat down. Oh, that beat down is going to hurt me. That was just awful to watch. Oh, oh, Alabama, man, Jesus, taking a dot, this old Yeller and Jesus, old Yeller